Akrapovic is one of the main exhaust brands we sell here at PSI. It's one of my personal favorites, and way back in 2008, we actually installed one of the first systems in the country on an E63 M6. Akrapovic has their own foundry in Slovenia where they make all the titanium alloy for all the exhaust. They partner with Formula One. They also work with Le Mans cars, WEC. It's an amazing brand, and we're really excited to be able to work with them on this project. This is the full Evolution exhaust for the E92 and E90 M3 platform, and we have a special part on this. We have one of the limited edition sets of the titanium tips, which were discontinued back in the day, and they were actually brought back earlier this year. I think they only made a run of about 30 sets. We got a few of those sets, and one of those sets is actually on this car. They have a really neat titanium color to them that matches well with the fire orange. And back in the day in 2013, my E92 M3 had this exact exhaust on it. So this design has an X-pipe midsection. It's got secondary cats here. It has resonators positioned here. It fits all of the OEM locations. This is a total plug and play system. No modification is required for a regular E92, regular E90. For this project, because it is an E91, we did have to make a couple modifications to the exhaust. We had to change some of the links. We had to change some of the places that it's mounted to get this to go on this project. We have all the standard heat shielding. All of the stock heat shielding is here. All of the stock mounting is here, from the diff all the way back to the hangers, which were welded on in the stock locations, back to the center here that was also mounted in the stock locations. Now, these are the special tips I was talking about, the titanium ones that were discontinued. And these are actually adjustable in and out. They have clamps here that are adjustable, and they slide in and out for fitment. Now, we don't have the bumper yet on the car. It's still at Brad's being painted and finished. Tomorrow, we're actually gonna have the bumper on the car, and that's when we'll do the final adjustment of the tips and the final adjustment of where everything sits for the exhaust. Right now, it's kind of just mocked up and loose on the car. Tomorrow, we'll get all of that set up and get this car on the road. So last time we had the dash in the car and we had the Akrapovic going on underneath, and now I'm gonna take you guys inside the interior and I'm gonna walk you through step by step. So the first thing you guys will notice is we have the genuine BMW Performance Alcantara seats. These are a period correct seat for these cars. They're no longer available. We had a company called Blue Chip Automotive locate them for us and send them down for the build. And then we basically let those be our guide to make this whole interior the way we imagine the GTS would be in a wagon form. The other part you guys can probably see in the frame is we have Alcantara B pillars. We also have Alcantara A pillars, and the whole headliner is replaced with the Alcantara. And this Alcantara is the anthracite color. It's actually the BMW specific color that's used for most of the headliners since E39 M5. The seats actually are a deep black Alcantara. So what we did is we got some samples from Alcantara. They sent them to us. We matched them. So we decided to go with everything below the shoulder as the deep black Alcantara, which is on the seats. It's also on the center console. We also took the silver whitish sort of stitching, carried over from the M Performance seats, carried it through on the center console. It's also on the door cards. So we took the centers from the door card. These are the M3 door cards from the E90. We recovered the centers with Alcantara and the stitching. We also did the backings, which everyone knows that has these cars. It has that black kind of gooey mess, we'll call it. So we totally got rid of that and did Alcantara back here. We also have brand new grab handles in the front with the leather stitching. So it's a combination of the leather, the Alcantara throughout the whole front here. In addition, we used the aluminum trim that was in the E90, which is a pretty rare option. Not a lot of these cars come with the aluminum trim, and it harks back to the CRT model, which was a special model made in period of the E90. So to match the leather lower dash, we tied in the armrest in leather, and we used the OEM DCT knob, which is leather. Also the e-brake, which is leather. So it actually broke up the Alcantara and the stitching. So it has that play, leather, stitching, Alcantara, so it matches throughout. We got brand new buttons. We got the EDC delete button here because the car has the Bilstein Club Sports, no longer has EDC. This is a brand new iDrive system. We wrapped the Alcantara here as well. The steering wheel is the OEM from the donor car from the E90. We sent it out, got it wrapped with the anthracite Alcantara, just like the GTS. The GTS also has a round wheel, which is different from the M Performance wheels of the time, which was a flat bottom. Those M Performance wheels also had the 12 o'clock mark, which this does not have. So this is the closest to the GTS wheel that we could currently get. GTS wheels are long, no longer available from BMW. So this was the best we could get to match with the theme of the car. So let me take you in the back and show you guys what we did with the back seat. As you guys saw in a previous video when we were at the interior shop, this was the stuff he was working on. This This is the back seat, and we carried the theme of the M-Performance Alcantara seats to the rear. So it's the leather panels on the outside, the Alcantara on the inside with the silver white stitching, so it matches the seats. We also did the scalloping in the design, just like the front seats had. And this was kind of cool because we got to think about what BMW would have done if they made a full M-Performance interior, which they never did. So normally you would run these seats with this stitching and these pattern with a factory back seat. That wasn't good for this build, so I really wanted to do something special. We carried the scalloping into the armrest here, and all of this is redone plastic, leather on the side, Alcantara here. If you guys take a look at the headrest, you'll see that they match the finishes as well. So the center is leather, it has a center armrest. The outsides are Alcantara, and they're Alcantara to match. And again, this is the deep black, so it's a darker black material than it's on the roof with the headliner. So the door cards, we went with the same as the front, center being the deep black Alcantara with the stitching. But you guys will notice something that wagons don't normally come with, which is the rear speaker. So we transplanted the rear speaker from the E90 M3 donor car to this panel, so it would carry over, be kind of a M3 sort of spec for a wagon with higher options. We also did something that's really cool. We laser etched the E91 GTS logo into this blank panel that sits under the air conditioning vent for the rear. It was just a blank rectangle, and it's always bothered me that BMW didn't do something there. So we took the liberty to go ahead and laser etch that. So it's just a nice subtle detail of the logo that we carried into the back. It was meant to be super subtle, and it is. But when the right lighting and everything, it'll come through and you'll be able to see that. The backs were also reconditioned. All of this silver that's on the front and performance seats was repainted by the guys at UA. They also did the latch, so everything would be the best it could be for this build. So let me show you the rest of the pieces in the hatch. All right, so we're in the back. This is the black theme that carried through from the front of the car. We have the Alcantara headliner, carries all the way back here. We have the black plastic that we ordered from BMW. We're able to retain the E91 cargo cover and the netting from our donor E91. We were able to save all of the panels here from the E91 and where they attach. If you guys remember, we have M3 fenders on this, and all of this had to be remade inside and out. So we retained all of the mounting areas for the back. We're able to save those, so everything goes in as OEM. Every piece of hardware was ordered and replaced. So this is all new back here. One last detail I'll point out is we did the laser engraving here, just like we did in the back, but on this panel. This is normally a carpeted panel. It's part of the hatch and the cargo for the wagon. We did the special E91 GTS logo here, laser etched in the Alcantara. So those are the only places that that logo is here in the car. Super subtle, but it's kind of a hidden point on the car.